Alright, so we are just in front of this beautiful villa of Nicole. Right now you are driving a Rolls Royce. When was the last time that you rode the metro?
I think when the metro just got launched, I was there for the launch of the metro.
Okay, so now is my favorite part, the giveaway. Okay, Harvard, did it help you to run business?
And you might be just lucky, you might win yourself a free portfolio with Diva.
Yeah, if it will be outstanding, maybe we will select, if we have 2 books, we will have two winners, plus 1 winner will get the portfolio with the company of Nicole. Hello everyone, today we're in the House of Beauty in Dubai with the queen of this house, Nicole. Thank you very much for arranging this wonderful interview. We are really happy to be here and we are really keen to listen to your story and learn something new from your business experience.
Oh, thank you, and thank you for honoring me and coming out to getting to know me too, and I look forward to answering all your brainstorming questions.
Thank you, thank you. So let's start from the very beginning. Can you please introduce yourself? I know that you have lots of businesses. I checked lots of websites, so I just can't count already how many businesses you have. So can you please let us know what are your major businesses at the moment and introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Nicole Rodrigues and I'm 45 years old. I've come to Dubai in 2003. I started off with the Diva models initially, and because there weren't really many model agencies, and there was structure that was required in this part of the world for that sort of our industry. We started off with a model agency, went on to expand into talent management, brought on activation promotion as a department, then on to events, and then on to production of film and print medium. Come 2005-06, Dubai was booming in the real estate, which it still is. I still think Dubai is like the place to invest in real estate. I love it. So I got into the bandwagon like everybody else did. I was extremely fortunate and sailed right through the first crash, and and I've been really fortunate like that. So real estate has been fabulous for me. Then I went on to Harvard Business School and I did my OPM for 3 years. Came back and started up Diva Lady Salon, Diva Laundry, NMI Accounting. So that's me.
Nice. So you yourself were a model.
Yes, like
right?
some 25 years ago, but yes.
But you were brought in a rather conservative family, as I know.
That's right. So my parents are extremely conservative. That generation was more about professionals, education, and I was sort of the black sheep of the family, wanted to rebel, completely do something that was completely different and nobody even knew about. But I'm so glad I did it, and they had a lot of fear about me getting into trouble and probably wanted to protect me, and that's probably why they were so anxious. But thanks to my good value system, and which I stuck to the whole way through, I reached the peak of the industry within Bombay, and then went on to model in Bahrain and also in Copenhagen, and then came back here in Dubai.
Nice. So did they change their opinion about the modeling when you just started?
Yes, absolutely. Because when I was younger, my father and our extended family were like totally anti me being in the media industry. There was all this, bad sort of stigma with the industry, and but there's so much more to the industry than people really know, because it's been like, media's been so close and only opening up now for the past 10, 15, 20 years, right? it's all about creativity, aesthetics, making things beautiful, marketing. There's so many elements to it. And also, I strongly recommend that, within each of us is an actor, within each of us is a model, a role model for everybody else. So when we start focusing on developing our own selves and improving our own selves in terms of, getting to better ourselves daily, physically, emotionally, psychologically, we're becoming better role models for everyone around us, right? And where better to start than here?
Right. So you were a model. How come you shift to business?
Well, I'm also Indian, right? So we kind of, we have in our bloodstream. Trade is like part of the way we brought up anyways, right? And then I also came from a family where my grandparents my grandfather was in business, an extremely successful business person. So it was always there in the family. And then my mother, it's generations, and you pass down the same sort of value system and the rules that run in business. So it was only a matter of time when I had to turn around and take my position as, getting back into business. Yeah. So I loved modeling, I loved the media, I loved the industry, and it was but natural that I would have taken it to the next level.
But when you came to Dubai, you started to work in a PR agency. So you were an employee at first.
That's right. So I started off in a PR agency for like a month. I was terrible. Terrible. Reasons being, I'm very free-spirited. I'm extremely innovative. I can't be put in a box. I'm constantly evolving, constantly transforming.
Yeah.
The person I was 5 years ago, I'm not today. The person I was 20 years ago, I'm not today. And I hope the person I am, 5 years from now is not today as well. So that's the whole idea. In this lifetime, I want to live as many different lives as possible, which means that you're constantly innovating, re-looking at yourself, analyzing your belief system, what you love, what you don't, and improvising and making that change and pushing yourself to make that change.
Right, so we are inside the Commander Center of Diva Modeling. Can you please tell us why Diva? How did you pick up this name?
Look at me. Seriously, what other name comes to your mind when you look at me? If not a diva.
Do you remember how much did you earn during the first month of running a business?
In terms of margins?
In terms of margin.
In terms of numbers.
You can say if you remember the number and the margin.
It was such a long time ago. It was like a good 16, 17 years ago. So to be honest, I don't remember it. But if you need, I can pull up the audit reports.
But were you profitable in the first month? Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. I paid back my investment in like the first 3 months. Nice. So we paid back our investors. I mean, the money that we raised and. Yeah.
What was the most difficult thing that happened so far to you? In business?
The most difficult thing that has happened in business is happens, I think, more like. I think when people make commitments to do something and then they change their minds and they're confused or they're fickle, that causes a lot of dismay, not only in business but everybody's lives. And we see that sometimes, especially with people. And that's why we have so many processes in place where we have booking forms, commitments, blah, blah. If we were more focused and more clear about what we wanted and just stood by it and committed to it and stood by it and not run away and change our minds and get confused, we wouldn't have all these issues, Yeah.
How many people do you manage now in your company?
Me personally?
In general, how many do you have?
Like overall the company?
Overall, yeah.
Yeah, I would say around 60, 70, 80 people, that sort of range, yeah.
How do you hire people? What do you look at?
Well, we have somebody who's in HR who handles our hirings, but I like to meet with people myself. So every so often I jump in and, I want to be there and I want to meet all the new people in town and their aspirations and their dreams and, their personalities and yeah, it's interesting. you get to learn so much from people. I love people. You know, sometimes you just have to open our eyes and look.
Yeah.
But we don't.
All right, so we're in the beautiful car with a beautiful lady. We have some personal questions to you.
Oh, I like personal questions.
What is your goal for the next 5 years?
Ooh, next 5 years. I think for the next 5 years I would work on myself, on and being a better human, on improving and working on my weaknesses and flaws. In terms of you know, finding more balance in my life, I think that would be more what I would like to do in the next 5 years.
Biggest dream right now?
My biggest dream.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you dream about now?
I think every day I have a different dream and I go and accomplish my dreams. That's the secret about having dreams. If God gives you the ability to have a dream, He also gives you the ability to make it real, right?
Right.
So that's, yeah, that's my whole take on dreams.
So do you have some specific or
Aspirations?
Yeah.
Well, my aspirations is to help as many people as possible.
Nice.
To help teach, well, if possible, if I know better, I first learn and then probably teach people how to, you know, develop themselves and, you know, improve themselves and grow themselves and reach their dreams and passions.
Are you mentoring someone at the moment or not yet?
So many. I mean, you know, in terms of mentorship is not about just taking one entrepreneur on board and you know, being there for them. There are some different ways one can mentor people. I mean, there's so many people who come in and go out of your life, right? And every person has something to teach you.
Right.
And that attitude is very important. So I think every time I meet anybody, it doesn't matter if it's somebody I see very often every second month or, you know, once in a year, whatever, it's always the attitude of wanting to help and help them develop themselves and, you know, reach their goal.
All right, so we are just in front of this beautiful villa of Nicole. This is the car of Nicole. You are so successful.
Thank you.
Tell these people how to be as successful as you.
Fall in love with what you love doing. That's how you get successful.
Yeah, so this is the secret.
And stay positive.
Yeah.
Have faith and trust and jump the fire. Jump into the fire.
Nice.
You know, fight your fears. That's who you should be. I do, every day. Go after what I want.
Right. Can I ask you about the kids?
Yes, my kids.
What do you think you as a parent, as a businesswoman, should teach your kids about? Do you want them to be in business or not?
Sure, I want them to do what they want to do.
Right.
I don't think I want to define who they should be and what they want. I just want to be the support of whatever they decide to do with themselves, right?
Right. Do you want them to continue
I have a very
your
different
business?
perspective. See, the thing is, I believe that every generation or younger generation or children for that matter have things to teach you because they always know better than what you do. We get older, we get, you know, slower, we forget things, we're not up with what's going on. But kids are constantly on the move. They're always so fast. They're so, you know, they're always so real. And I think instead of wanting to teach them, I think I want to learn from them.
Right. When you arrived to Dubai for the first time, did you think that you will have this beautiful car, this beautiful villa, that you will have your own business? Did you think about it? Did you have a plan for that?
No.
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 So you thought to be just a regular employee?
No. I actually didn't. I don't think I thought so much. I think I just went with the flow.
Right.
I just enjoyed every moment and gave it my 100%.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's very, very important. I think it's good to have a vision that yes, I do want the security, I want the home, I want the cars, I want the pets, and I want the kids and the family and blah, blah. But that's the bigger vision. But, you know, every day is just hardcore focusing on what is got to be done now, today, and let's get this done the best possible way that we can get it done.
All right, so we are right in front of this beautiful villa of Nicole. Let's have a look how it is inside, and Nicole will guide some special tour for us, for our viewers, and let's see how successful entrepreneurs, business women live in Dubai. When you started, I read in some website that you had to take 50,000 dirhams as a capital to start your own business. How did you persuade these guys, these people who trusted you this money? What did you do? How did you find these people?
I was so fortunate. I've always been so fortunate, thankfully. So these were friends and family, right? And they all knew that I was very, very, very ambitious and very driven and very focused, goal driven. So when I set my mind to doing something, irrespective of what is in its way, I will get it done. I'm not one to like sit around and let other people's opinions bring me down. And that is the kind of spirit they actually invested in. I don't think any of my family friends who invested into the business had any idea of the industry itself. It was probably something they didn't even have an idea about, but they trusted me as the entrepreneur, and they were rewarded well, and they're very glad they did that, you know.
And why did you decide to set up business in Dubai? Why not Abu Dhabi or different country like Europe, or I don't know?
So when I came in 2003, Dubai was still, you know, beginning to grow a lot faster than most other places in the world. The beauty about Dubai is it's constantly evolving, constantly changing, constantly transforming, and I love it. It's so alive, just like, you know, a heartbeat, right? It's not that. I mean, most of our societies today are like running at that pace and probably like that pace, but Dubai is like this, up, down, up, down, up, down. And that's me, and I'm so alive. So I kind of like fit the Dubai spirit to the T. Obviously, there are elements that Dubai has to offer, like that was tax-free and safety, security in the region, which is phenomenal, which we don't see very many places, and especially with today, with a lot of crime and, you know, other things that are running around. Dubai is a safe haven. I love and adore His Highness, His Royal Highness, you know, and his vision and the way he has helped Dubai evolve. It's amazing. Every day I wake up and I think about it, and I'm super excited and still love the fact that we're led by a great leader. And his leadership is what drives and motivates all of us around him to keep developing and keep going. Even when the going gets tough, we're still there, right? When the going gets tough, the tough get going.
Get the #1 step-by-step guide on how to become your own boss in the UAE. You will learn how to start your own business in the UAE. Just click the link in the description below this video and follow this link. This is your time to start. Click the link below this video. Bam! Who do you think is the most important person in the company after the managing director? Is it HR or a CFO, like somebody who handles finance?
I think all managers, anybody who's managing anyone, is very important positions, because if managers don't manage, we end up having everybody running everywhere. When I say manage, I don't mean control. I mean manage as in supporting, encouraging, overlooking, you know, giving out sort of like tasks and ensuring that they're done, and overlooking that and following up, and accountability. And these are very important elements in any business, I think. And I think when people fail to do that with people, especially in an industry like ours, which is all about people and people's great energy, and how, you know, you take somebody and make them so much bigger than they are, I think it's very important to have these elements in place where people are responsible and accountable for what they do.
How do you attract models? Do they come to you without advertising, or you invest in advertising or something?
We get a lot of talent who actually comes because we're already a big brand name in the area, in the region, which is great. We've been here so long, and that's really fabulous. But we also do market. We do believe in the element of marketing, and I think that's very important for any business. To be able to, you know, present yourself out there for people to know who you are and what you do.
Right.
I think that's very important.
Do you consider switching to another businesses apart from modeling, real estate, like laundry that you have, and saloons that you have?
So there's this theory, right? It's same product, different market, different product, same market, right? And I think we've bottom line tried it all. So yeah, I am in different businesses. So technically I have, like, I'm serial entrepreneur, right?
Right. So you're planning to add more add more businesses to a portfolio.
Yes, absolutely, right? You always want to keep changing, adding on, developing, getting rid of what doesn't work, always. If you don't do that, and you don't maintain things, they kind of like fizzle and fall.
What would you recommend to small companies to make this bigger shift that could really make impact on their income, on their expansion? What would you advise?
I think get to know your people, the power of your people, the teams that you work with, and take that and work from there. I think a lot of times companies are so consumed with, smaller companies are so consumed with what they do, and they don't want to change and evolve and grow. They are so stuck in the same thing over and over again, and when that happens, they get stuck in time. One needs to constantly keep changing, expanding, doing something. You know what I mean? There needs to be innovation and change. Yeah, because you can't be the same person and expect different results. You've got to change yourself if you want to change your results, right?
What would you recommend to those people who have spare 50 to 100,000 dirhams?
Think about what you're great at doing or good at doing and how you want to improve yourself, and start something. You know, definitely start something.
What are the most important things here in your office?
Me?
Yeah.
My cell phone.
Cell phone?
Cell phone. It's with me 24/7. I'm on it 24/7. Terrible, but I love it.
Do you disconnect? Can you switch off and say, well, this day I want to have some personal time. I don't want to be disturbed by anybody. I just want to put it away and stay alone, or just have some switch off from the business.
I am work in progress, so that's something I need to learn. I'm learning on doing that. But I've struggled for very many years with sort of like disconnecting and yeah, but we're constantly evolving and growing, right?
Right.
That's what keeps us real, right?
What inspires you most currently?
I think the ability to grow, learn new things, and change. I think that's the thing. I think it's so important to stop talking and start doing. I think that's something that we all get so consumed with. We think, but we're not having any action to support that, right? We're talking, but we're not doing anything about it.
Right.
And I think that's key for success, right? Key for living, being alive.
Who are the most influential entrepreneurs that you can name, that you can say that, yeah, these are the people that I am following, that I want to be like them? Do you have such people, such role models in business, for example?
Not really. I've always been somebody who has. I think Sheikh Mohammed is fabulous. I think he runs Dubai as a business. And I think that's the greatest. You know what I mean? Sort of role model anyone can have in our region, especially. But by and large, I think that most of us have our answers within. We just need to sit and think. And look at how we can do things differently rather than just doing the same thing over and over again. That's I think key.
So this is our home.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful home.
Yeah.
This is our family. My husband, our kids. And then this is our TV room. This is where we like to chill and watch TV. Well, my husband does. And I need to learn too.
Do you sing karaoke?
Yes, we do sometimes.
What's your favorite song?
Oh my God, it's this one.
Harmony?
No, it's not. It's this one with what's her face? Endless Love.
Endless Love.
Do you know it?
No.
My endless love.
Actually, I've forgotten. It's the one Whitney Houston sang.
Yeah, I know.
I believe the children are the
Yeah.
future. I'm not sure if it's called Endless Love or something else.
So Whitney Houston is your favorite singer?
No, just
Who
that
is?
song.
Who is?
I've got so many different singers.
Like, whom do you usually listen to?
Barbara Streisand, one of my all-time favorites. Diana Ross, love it too.
Yeah.
I can be quite like old-fashioned like that sometimes, but yeah.
Right.
I love this. Okay, so this is like the board that is so important. It's all around love, and it's a constant reminder for me to learn to accept, trust, meditate, some awareness, being authentic. Things I know I am, but I completely forget and probably do not do sometimes. So it's a constant reminder for me every day to reinforce and reinforce and reinforce being that person.
Nice.
Self-improvement.
Right.
This is my office. It is my safe zone. It's where I hide out and I'm a total wreck. I can, sit down, Google, YouTube, do all the fun stuff.
I will ask you about the office.
Okay.
I will ask you about this, about
Ooh,
Harvard. Come,
sure.
come here. Nicole Rodrigues has successfully completed the 43rd session of the Honor President Management Program in Witness Way of the Video Thing. Okay, Harvard. Did it help you to run business?
Definitely. It gave me a lot more insight on, being able to articulate what I was doing. Instinctively, I was doing a lot of things, evolving, changing, adapting to situations and growing. But I had no idea how I actually got there. And Harvard sort of formalized what I was doing, and it really helped. Network was great. It was great to meet other entrepreneurs as well, and get their perspectives and their journeys. And I think that the more people and successful people that you meet have very similar sort of value systems. Yeah. Everybody's sort of in a similar sort of foundation.
I see that you have lots of books, like New Leaders, The Power of Now, The Truth.
Yes, this is like some of the stuff I'm reading right now. Talk to Me, like I'm someone you love. If it's Game of Love, it's Boundaries in Marriage. Like I said, I mean, every 2 weeks or so, I keep changing and going through, something new that I want to learn, and then I, find a book that gets me, and I love going through books and just marking them and highlighting them like that. That's my favorite thing to do, and then so I can go back and make notes.
How do you find time in your busy schedule to read books?
When you want something, you always find the time. There's nothing in life that we don't have the time for. It's just about prioritizing it and wanting it enough.
Yeah, let's go have a look what we have else.
Great, and so that is my favorite part of the house. This is another reminder of me and my husband, and important values that we should have in our relationship. Right. This is our dining room where we entertain people. I love my piano. Most of the time it's my daughter who plays it, not me, but great to have it there. And that's sort of our living room. Yeah. And the view, and this is the best part of the house, the great view, being by the beach, and it's great to have the pool and be able to entertain, and I think it's so great to be here and just enjoy the vibe. Yeah. Nice. I love it here.
When you want to invent something, to get inspiration, which room you are usually sitting in?
My office.
Your office?
No, I think travel. Travel is when I really get inspired. Travel is when I'm taken away from my day-to-day rut, and where I can just be completely on my own and not focusing on how to drive things and move things and just be within myself. I think travel is where I get my greatest ideas from. So when travel is taken away from me, I go into like a state of limbo.
What is your favorite place to stay, to maybe charge yourself? What is your favorite place?
I love different places. I've traveled loads and loads of places in my lifetime. Fortunately, and I have a few more to go on my list, but I would definitely say that every area has its own charm and beauty. Every place has something to offer, and I don't sort of tag that, this is like that and that is like that. I just love everything.
Top three. Where you want to come back every...
I end up coming back more. So London, probably one of them. I definitely land up in London ever so often. Thailand, I like very much. India, for sure. Maybe the south of India. Lately a lot, probably because of my own, search for my inner soul work that I'm working on. But
Right. What you can say to those ladies who are watching us?
Why just ladies? Why not men too?
To ladies, because usually there is a misconception of business that it's only for men, not for women. So what would be your words of encouragement to these young ladies or not young?
I think all women and men both, we all have male and female energy, right? And it's very important to cherish and harbor both sides of ourselves and not just focus on one and forget the other. And I think the better balance we have within ourselves, the better we are able to produce and help the world. I know every woman is maternal, and every woman out there is wanting to nurture and support and love. Sometimes it's hard when we lose our balance, but at the end we've got to find our true nature and follow our true nature.
What is more important than money for you?
Love.
Love. I think love makes the world go round and round. Just like I love my work, I love my family,
Right.
I love, important. Yeah, exactly. So that's what's most important, I think, in life. Love.
Tell us where you take energy from.
Energy.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, actually, I think energy is just there. We just need to let it flow. A lot of times we create our own blockages and don't let it flow and
Right.
go into these, states of like fear and anger and resentment. And but when you just let go of all these things, we all become like these energy bombs.
Right now you are driving Rolls-Royce. When was the last time that you rode the metro?
I think when the metro just got launched, I was there for the launch of the metro.
So it's more than 8 years?
Yeah.
How many days per year do you have a break, like a real vacation?
Well, my real vacation is when I fly off with my husband on holidays and we take off, to go somewhere, or with the family, with the kids.
Right.
I think that's the only time I really take a break.
And how many days do you allow yourself to have holidays for, like in a row?
Me, I take many holidays. I'm always on a holiday. I think every day is a holiday. When you do something you love, life is a holiday. It's when you do things you don't like, that's when
Right.
you think you're really working. So, yeah.
Many people are struggling to find this passion, because I see you're so passionate about what you do, how you live. What would you advise to those people who are not sure how to find their passion?
Wow. So I would say the first thing one needs to do is just accept people the way they are. Have more compassion and empathy. I think when you have more compassion for people and you can receive love and receive energy, you're able
Right.
to give out love and energy, right?
Right.
A lot of times people block that and resist that, and I think that's what causes them to go into this, zone of frustration and stress and greed and, things like that.
All right.
We live once, live it to the fullest. What is destined to be will be. I think that sort of attitude of just let it be
Yeah.
is important, right?
Why did you decide to go for a model agency? Or maybe there were some other option that you were considering at that time?
No, I was very clear about what I wanted from day one. I had worked on a business plan only for a model agency. I didn't try like 4 or 5 different business plans.
Right.
So I was very focused and clear about what I wanted. So that was a good thing. And since I was in the industry before that, like good 10, 15 years, I was very sure that I had the expertise behind and in front of the screen, and that was something I could take to the next level.
You were an employee. At some point of time, you are thinking, okay, this is time, enough, I cannot work anymore. What was this time? What maybe preceded this event? What made you switch to the idea of this is the right time for me to start my own business?
I would be lying if I said that my drive to actually become an employer or an entrepreneur was based on the fact that I did not want to be an employee anymore. I don't think that was even there in my slightest thought, right? I wanted to create, and it was a point of my life where I could afford to take that risk.
Okay.
And I think that was more the foundation of creation. Rather than me running away from something, it was me being in the direction of something. Okay. So to be honest, I would not advise people to go out and become an employer tomorrow without having your foundation in place. I had worked like a good 7-10 years in industries, in corporates before. I was flying, so I did understand how the airline worked and how there were processes and policies and things like that. So that foundation and that strength of that foundation actually enabled me to build a platform that everybody could bank off. But if I were to say, my daughter asked me I want to start something tomorrow, I'd probably say, hey, listen, wait. Let's get the rules right, let's get the foundation right, and then probably jump. Not know how not to do it and then just jump into it.
Right. So at the time of starting a business, you didn't have any business experience before?
No, zero. I had like sort of I used to like buy garments around from different designers and then house them in certain shops. I did that, and then I had mermaid trading where I used to buy like fette sort of products because we wouldn't get them in the Middle East and sort of sell them. So there was like bits and pieces here and there, and there was always that urge to like do something on my own from the beginning. But to take it and formalize it and raise funds and be liable to somebody else, I had to get to a point when I was absolutely sure and ready.
How old were you when you started the business?
I was 30,
30. Do you think it was too early or too late?
just in time.
Just in time.
Yeah. I think it, you know, like in your 20s, you just off university, you're still like trying to figure things out. 20s to 30s, you give yourself the time to, you know, working and being employed, getting the structure right, doing it on the back of your hand, and knowing how things are, following rules, creating rules, innovating rules, or working with systems that do that, and then being able to stand by and be able to create and innovate rules and regulation and structure. Yeah. I don't know if rules and regulation is like the word, but probably options and, you know what I mean, is probably more apt.
Hot seat question.
Yeah, it means that I ask you quick questions, but you can answer in as many words as you like.
Sure.
Dubai or Mumbai?
Dubai.
Why?
Because I am the spirit of Dubai. I love Dubai. I've always loved Dubai. I love how fast-paced it is. I love how, you know, it keeps changing and evolving for the better. I love how resilient and strong it is. Yes, that's Dubai.
Who is the best businesswoman in the history of planet?
Me.
Which is the best city in the UAE?
Dubai.
Not Abu Dhabi, not...
Dubai, Dubai, Dubai.
What is happiness for you?
Happiness is the ability to serve others. That is happiness. For me, being happy, firstly, is about, you know, knowing yourself and being happy for yourself. And the smallest, littlest things can make us happy. Smelling a beautiful flower, watching a little animal. But in the bigger picture, I think once you're happy, the ability to be able to make other people happy is what true happiness is.
What is unhappiness for you?
Unhappiness for me is when other people are unhappy. I'm so empathetic, so I tend to like, you know, feel other people's pain, and I hurt even a lot more when they're hurting. So that's probably why I'm the savior and, you know, trying to like save everybody, but yeah.
What is success for you?
Success is constant evolution, constant change, constant learning.
Who has been the biggest influence on you?
My father.
Can you please explain?
Sure. So my father, I think, has been the greatest influence. He's taught me to be who I am. He's taught me to be strong and not to let other people's opinion come in my dreams and my passions and desires. My father has also, taught me how it's important to go after what you want. But I think my mother, to a large extent, has also given me the aspect of being able to love and nurture, which I need to learn a little more, but yeah.
When you meet with God, what would you tell him?
Thank you for making me me. I love being me. Thank you. Thank you every day, every second.
If you are a young man or a young woman who is watching us now, what your words of encouragement to them? Last advice, last word of encouragement.
Stop looking at me, start looking at yourself.
A service business or a product business?
Service.
Why?
Because I believe in service. I believe in serving people. I believe in adding value to people. And of course, I mean, if I was in product business, I would say product business, but that's a tough one, you know. Everybody has their own calling and their own journey. My husband's in the product business, so yeah. That's a great business too.
So, do you think it's more difficult to run a product business or a service business?
Product business is harder.
Harder?
Harder, so much harder. Because in a product business, you're not only doing service, but also product. But in a service business, you don't have any product. So yeah.
If some of the people who are watching right now want to join your team, your company as an employee, as a model, what they should do?
Get in touch. Google us, find us. Check us out on YouTube, and reach out to us.
Nice.
Most people want it, but they don't go out to get it. Yeah. You've got to go out and get it. Get moving, take action.
What is the biggest salary for the model or influencer? Or it depends on the shoot?
It depends on the shoot, it depends on the usages, it depends on the mediums the images are used. So, I mean, depending on which job the model has booked, it all ranges, right? If it's worldwide usage across all mediums, I mean, it could go into hundreds and thousands. And if it's an influencer, again, it's digital, which is already global. So, I mean, if you're an influencer like Huda Katan or something of that sort, then, your tags are quite high.
Can a person from who is watching right now become a supermodel by means of your model agency?
Alone?
No, with the help of you, of course.
Of course, we can help everybody, but to take you to the next level. Yeah. And then there's so many more levels in us, So I wouldn't say yes, we're the ones who are going to make you the biggest star on the planet, but because there's everybody who has something to teach you. And then we have a certain part of it that we can teach you, but the rest you've got to keep learning.
You know, what I'm thinking right now is that whenever you start in modeling, you need to be brave enough to go for the first shoot, to go for the first viewing, and the same with business. Whenever you start a business, you need to be brave enough to start.
You know, and what better place to break your fear than the camera, right? Because if you can actually stand there and look at your own mirrors and not be afraid, you genuinely are on the right track. And the camera is your best, you know, way of actually looking at who you are and, you know, backtracking, you know, yourself. And I think modeling is, I mean, people might not really see it, but I think modeling is a great platform because it teaches you confidence. It teaches you the ability to be able to look at yourself and love yourself. It gives you, you know, the ability to be able to meet so many different people, to be able to be seen and to see. I mean, these are the elements that we bring to, you know, people.
Usually, an entrepreneur is a busy, very busy person, and he has no time to sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
Said who?
How many hours of sleep do you have?
I have, well, actually, honestly, I don't sleep so much. I do try and get at least 6 to 8 hours, but I can sometimes be quite restless depending on, you know, the time of the year and depending on what I'm working on. But when that happens, it's just small phases, and then I try to get myself back.
How many hours of sleep did you have today?
Last
This
night?
Yeah.
Wow, I think like 4 or something, 4 or 5.
4 hours?
Yeah.
Really?
I was up reading something last night, and then I woke up really early. So excited about our shoot today, so kidding.
Do you exercise? Do you play any sports?
Yes, so I go to the gym. I like that.
How
I do,
often?
As probably like every day. I mean, for the past 2-3 months, I've been going there every day.
Yeah.
And then I do enjoy swimming sometimes by the beach, pool. Yeah.
What do you do in your free time?
Wow. So I have loads of friends. I love going out to new places. I love being at events. I love seeing new places and meeting new people. I love people. You know, so it doesn't matter. You know, if you could be like, let's say, a driver, or you could be like a sheikh. You know, to me, everybody has something to, you know,
A story to tell.
Yeah, a story to tell, right? And at the end, we are just storytellers, right?
Yeah, right.
And I like to believe I'm a great storyteller.
Right. And you said you are going to different events. Can you recommend to our viewers some events that are worth visiting?
If you're in Dubai, every week has some great event or the other. You know, you can't like say, oh, I gotta wait for like, you know, end of the year to be at this event or not. And Dubai is like the place to be when it comes to sport events, business events, you know, may it be pleasure events, restaurants. So Dubai is your destination.
Right.
Dubai is lifestyle.
Do you watch YouTube?
I love YouTube.
Really?
Oh my
How
God.
many hours of do you watch per week?
Per week? I think I YouTube like probably every day. I'm terrible at that, but I love my YouTube and my Google. I think they're fabulous channels. I think it's great because, you know, if you don't know something, just ask Google or YouTube, how do you do this and how do you fix that? And
Correct.
right there. I love it. I think it's a great medium.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Do you have any favorite channels
On YouTube?
Yeah.
I've got many favorite channels.
Like,
Yeah.
what's your most top 3? Top 3 from Nicole.
At the moment in my life, I think I'm you know, working on myself. So a lot of, you know, developing and trying to find what I like doing, not like doing.
Yeah.
Sort of that sort of channels are what I've been spending a lot of time on.
Self-development.
Yeah, self-development, and if you develop yourself, you're helping develop everybody else around you.
Right.
But if you don't focus on yourself, you're not able to do anything for anybody else around you, right?
I have a question. You may answer it or you may not. It's up to you.
Sure.
What is the most expensive thing that you bought for yourself?
My car.
Your car.
Yeah, my car. That's the most expensive thing I bought myself.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was it your dream to buy an expensive car?
Absolutely. I love cars. I absolutely love cars.
Yeah.
I've been through the Bentleys and the you know, Cayennes and Porsches and the...
So your favorite is?
It keeps changing. Like at the moment, my new aspiration is the Bentley four-wheel drive or the Rolls-Royce four-wheel drive. So, you know, I mean, every time it keeps evolving.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you read daily or weekly?
My emails. Yeah, definitely do my emails, but I also do, I mean, depending on, if there is some topic that I need to address or I need to work on, there's always a lot of support material, maybe books on the internet or, that I do keep myself busy with or work on.
Right. What's your favorite website? Like, what are the websites that you visiting most regularly, apart from Google? Facebook?
Social media, nah, maybe Instagram and Facebook, but not. I mean, that's because it's also related to my business. But in terms of like websites, I definitely look a lot at divadubai.com website, which is my own website. And then I also have like other websites depending on what's going on. I mean, if you were to post something, I'd definitely check you on your channel or your website.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure being focused on doing 2 or 3 things only is the way. I think the world is so big now, and then we've got so many different options out there. So it's important to have a idea of what is available where, so it's easily reachable, right?
Yeah. This is my favorite question. If you met His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed, what would you ask him? And tell us a little bit about this particular meeting.
Great. So this was when the SMEs were invited to His Highness's palace, the Beach Palace. And it is one of the most amazing moments of my life because I absolutely adore and admire His Highness. I think I wake up every morning and aspire that someday I will be even this much of him. He's amazing. So your next question was?
If you met him next time, what would you talk to him? If you had they say, okay, Nicole, you have 20 minutes to talk to His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed, what would you talk to him about?
What would I talk to him about? What would I tell him?
Yeah, maybe you have some suggestions, maybe you will discuss some business plan with him, I don't know. Or maybe you can, I don't know, whatever. What comes to your mind?
I think gratitude.
Yeah.
I think that's all I would say. I would say thank you. Thank you for making all of us, have such great lives and giving us the foundation and platform for us to develop ourselves and grow. And I think that 20 minutes would be spent in pure gratitude.
Right. You have so many awards.
Yes, I do.
Where do you have time to get all of them? Can you let us know in general what your regular day routine looks like? What time do you wake up? When you are usually coming to office? So what you do? Where do you have your lunch? And what time you are coming back home?
So I come into the office early in the mornings. I can be quite a workaholic. I know I need to get structure into it, but I generally have my lunch on my desk itself. I don't take that time off, which I should. I know I should, and I should find that balance. Lately, I've started structuring my life a lot better. I go to the gym in the morning, then come to the office, try and nip out for lunch if possible. Try and cut off and disconnect during the evenings. Have a little more me time. I didn't do that for a few years, but I saw myself deteriorating, so I don't recommend it. Definitely keep the balance, definitely.
But do you think this is inevitable for the startup entrepreneurs who just start business to work 24 hours, to be a workaholic, or there is another way to...
There is always another way, always. I think when we're spending way too many hours on doing something, it's because we're spending too many hours thinking about it over and over again. Because anything that needs to get done needs quick decisions, and you should know right away if it's a good decision or not and just move. I think that's why I said earlier that when we start getting this whole rut of confusion within our heads because we have so much of clutter, and start thinking and dragging, we cause a lot of problems for ourselves.
What do you think about the UAE in general?
I love the UAE. I love Dubai. Oh my God, I love Dubai. Yeah, I totally love it. I've got everything invested here. Emotionally, financially, in every way possible. It is my home.
What would be your words of encouragement to those viewers who are watching right now and they want to be like you, to be successful, but they are scary and they don't know what to do?
You don't want to be like me. You want to be like yourself. You want to find your own power. You want to find your own path. You want to look at yourself and bring out the gods within yourself rather than trying to emulate or copy somebody else. Yes, we can all be role models to each other. That's true, we can, and we can give each other the support and encouragement we need. But at the end, it is you. You are the power.
The first months of running a business. Can you recall this time? How much did your life and timetable changed when you started the business?
Oh my God, when I think about it, gives me shivers. 20-hour days, it was crazy. I was petrified. I had just borrowed money from somebody, which I was, responsible for. I had one table, one phone, one computer, and an office space. That was it.
You were alone?
All alone. So I was my own receptionist. I was my own business development. I was my own salesperson. I was my own producer. I was my own account. Yeah, that was my first month. But then, soon after structure, it was great because it enabled me to, raise and do jobs and then start putting positions into place that I realized I was actually doing myself. And I sort of started building up the org chart thereafter like that.
How did you get so many Dubai SME awards?
I know, right? I love Dubai. Dubai loves me, really. I love Dubai so much, and I think a lot of times I'm given so much credit and so much of honor, and people are so kind to me that they think I'm worthy of that sort of position and being a role model. But it all comes down to me not chasing after it, more so it just coming to me. Because I sort of am the role model maybe for people to know that stay focused, be truthful to yourself. Number one, be authentic. At 45, I'm still trying to figure out my own authenticity every day because it's always about self-growth. You have to reflect within to know how well you can develop yourself, right? And so I guess that speaks for itself.
Yeah. If you started the very same business in your home country, in India, do you think it would be of the same success? Or?
Absolutely. I think it was a time around the world in the East, we didn't really have that many agencies as such. There were a lot of freelancers running around, whether it was India or whether it was here. I understood the industry of having a lot of freelancers because I came from Bombay. I did model myself. I was in the industry myself. I realized there was so much of work. Every model was their own agent technically, right? There was no structure. And there were model coordinators, as they called it, who were also freelancers. So the model coordinator could disappear the next day and then your payments just disappeared with it. And so there were structures that needed to come into place. Dubai actually was earlier than India when it came to setting up model agencies. If you actually look back, in 2003, we already were set up. India only started much later in 2007 or 8, even though it's a much bigger industry. Yeah, that's why we're pioneers.
So can we say that you are the among the first model agencies in
the
Dubai?
region?
In the region.
Yeah, Diva started up. Diva was set up. It was actually a platform that I wanted to start for girls to be, young women and girls to be able to come in, your sister, mother, whatever. That was safe, that was structured, that was protected. Because I remember when I was younger and, having to gauge whether this was the right, casting to go for, not to go for, was this a job I should be taking, not taking. And now there was a platform where young talent could come in, they could understand how the industry works, what are the requirements for it, how to present yourself, how to pose in front of a camera, what is expected from you, where is the line or where you draw the line, and how do you sort of build your career, right? So that's the platform I was interested in creating. It was not about making money, it was not about creating wealth, it was purely about adding value to society. That was my goal, still is my goal.
How many models did you have at your first month and now?
Oh, probably like 20 or something of that sort, and probably now like 28,000 or 30,000.
Wow.
Yeah. But then again, we don't only do models. We do like casts, actors, we do photographers, directors, makeup artists, the whole nine yards.
If you could meet anyone in the world's history, who that would be?
Anyone at all?
Yeah.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
What would you ask him about? About business?
Well, I would ask him how happy he was.
Yeah.
I think I'm very curious to know how happy was Steve Jobs really. A lot of people think that he wasn't happy, that he was very happy, but only he can really truly answer that question, right?
What do you think about this work and life balance?
I think it's so important. I think if we don't, it's so important. And I think if we don't realize it in time, we tend to lose really important things and people in our lives. And I think it's something that we need to be aware of and work hard on ourselves to retain. Definitely.
But you said you are spending lots of time in the office.
I also said that I'm working on it.
Yeah.
You know. So I do know and I'm aware that I mean all of us comes with our pros and our cons, and we know what our weaknesses and our strengths are.
Right.
But definitely family is number one for me, for sure, as it is for everybody else. But finding that balance between family and my family does make a lot of sacrifices for me to have achieve my dreams, and I'm very grateful for my husband, to my kids. I'm really grateful. But we do have our ups and downs. There are times when we are like consumed with work, and then there are times that we can actually segregate it.
Yeah.
But I think as an entrepreneur, it's very difficult to have a 9 to 6, 5 days a week. I think it's very erratic depending on season, especially in our business. And especially when things are rolling, there could be weekends that you're working, you could be flying out on business meetings and things like that. So it's important.
Do you think you have a secret for business, for being such a successful person in business? And can you please share with our viewers this secret, if you have it? What do you think? What do you think made you a successful person?
People. It is relationships. At the end, what makes us great from good is the ability to have deep relationships.
Yeah.
And our purpose in life is relationships, right?
Yeah.
We focus, we're so consumed with like running and chasing after and giving, but we're not working hard enough on ourselves, on developing stronger, deeper bonds and relationships. And I think that is the secret to success.
Yeah.
And when you're able to give somebody something special, maybe a compliment, a motivation, a new way of looking at things, you have added value to that relationship.
All right.
So that's the secret to success.
So what can you say about the team in general?
Team or my team?
Your team, and how to create a great team that could really push your business forward and develop your business a lot.
Communication. So I think as a team leader, one needs to be really clear of one's own direction, right, or the company's direction. And when we are confused as leaders, our teams are confused. So if our teams are not going or the company's not going anywhere, it's primarily because the confusion the leader has.
Yeah.
So getting now first clarity in the leader's head, number one, or your director, manager, whatever you want to call it, and then translating that all the way through without having it, not translating it, but sending it all the way through instead of having it translated to other versions is very, very important in a team.
Yeah.
And accountability, another thing that's really important. I think people, have a huge shortfall in accountability, not people holding people accountable for what they're failing to do. And I think, holding up to your commitments and your promises are so important. When one fails there in a team, your team fails. But when you stand up for it, and as a team leader, you stand up for it and stick by it, your team does the same.
What do you think about weak team members? Do you think sometimes it's better to fire them at the same time, or give them a chance to maybe reveal themselves?
I don't think there are ever weak team members. I think there could be team members who are not aligned.
Right.
And a lot of times that is because of either the inability of the manager to translate the vision across, or it is other distractions that's keeping the team members from following that vision. So I don't think anybody's weak. I think everybody has strengths. You just need to know how to gauge whose strengths, right?
What about your parents? What was their attitude? You going to a foreign country, leaving their house, going nowhere, trying to do something new. How did the opinion change about your sense of adventure and taking risks?
So I come from an extremely conservative family. My mother is an extremely loving person, like most moms are, conventional, traditional. My dad is the breadwinner. I'm a professional engineer, mechanical engineer. So for them, it was very, very difficult to handle somebody, like me, especially with so much energy that I come out with, and I have opinions, and I can be quite strong with my opinions. So I think it was very, very hard. But at some point, my dad knew that he had actually trained me into being able to be strong enough to fly. So when I had to like fall off the cliff, he knew I would survive and I would fly off. They say the eagles are always taking the cliff and they just dropped, right?
If you just started now, what would you do?
Wow, in the same industry?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's such an interesting question. I think the industry is so different to the way it was, let's say 5-10 years ago. Today, there's a lot that's happening on social media. It's changing. The new generation thinks differently. The new generation, but we've also got to move with time. We can't be stuck in our ways and expect people to stick with what worked 10-15 years ago.
Right.
The world has become a lot smaller because everybody can reach everybody. So I think that if I were to start the industry today, I would probably look at more of creating a platform that was automated and self-developed. So basically everybody created and accessed and handled and did what they wanted to do themselves.
What you can recommend to those people who want to become successful entrepreneurs, but they're just scary of doing the first step?
That's the thing, right? Scary of, very well said, fear. Number one, conquer your fear. And that is the biggest element I see, and with people sort of like refraining themselves from the bigger picture. Fear of what people might want, not pushing people's limits, behaving in a certain way. This to me is it's not about what other people want of you, it's about what you want for yourself. So one needs to be very clear about what one wants and just go out and get it. Instead of being too consumed with hypocritical society or beliefs that, you should consider what the other person thinks and, but this is not a good thing and that's not a good thing. I think the biggest reason why most entrepreneurs fail is because they refuse to fight their own fears.
How to become a business partner of Nicole?
I think everyone is a business partner with me, right? Because basically a partnership is about when both parties benefit from a certain situation. So whether you're working with any talent or whether I'm working with you, it's about how you can give me something and I can give you something. But when it becomes a one-sided relationship, that's when the partnership breaks. And so I think how to become a business partner of mine.
Yeah.
If you're in my company and you're here, you probably are a business partner in some way or the other.
Do you think you need an education to start business, like from your perspective now?
Right. So if you ask me this question, say 5 years ago or 10 years ago, I'd probably say yes, absolutely, you do. The formal education, where you needed to work your mind, you needed to know how things work, and you were able to translate your ideas across that way. But today, I have a completely different belief. I think it's not just education, but emotional intelligence that's very important as well. The ability to be able to deal with people. People is energy. Money is energy, right? How do you handle energy? That happens only through emotional intelligence. So I think a balance of education and emotional intelligence, very vital and very key for success.
What would be 3 books that you can recommend to those who want to be like you, successful like you?
I think that's very unfair to give just 3 books, you know what I mean? There's so many books and I keep reading books and I keep running out of books, and at some point I don't even know which one's really my favorite, because I don't think I ever get stuck in a book. I think books come to you, or you reach out to books when you need to learn something new, or you need to evolve and probably pick up a new skill or a talent to be able to go to the next level. So I'm not sure I would want to come up with 3 books at this point of time, like right now. I would probably say, the completion process, self, worth, the power of now. These are some of the books that I'm on right now. But if you ask me this question a month from now, I probably will have other books.
So each person has a book that changed his life and maybe influenced the way he behaves, the way he sees business, the way he sees life. Right. Do you have such a book in your life?
I remember when I was younger and I was flying, there was this, we used to have a lot of time, that we had a lot of spare time. And I remember there was this book on business, The Laws of Business, that I had fallen into. And since it was the only book I used to keep reading it over and over and over again. And somewhere the rules of business or the laws of business sort of got entrailed and grilled. We go do our MBAs, we learn so much, there's so much of information out there. It's one big clutter in our heads. Right. But sometimes, yes, it's important to go through that clutter, but at one point you've got to stop and say, hey, listen, now it's time for me to sit back and figure out what exactly is that I want to pick up from all that clutter and bring clarity to be able to define your focus and goal, and then shoot and fire.
The modeling is not only for women, it's also for the men.
Correct.
Can you please tell us a little bit about the man models in your company?
Right, so I think years ago, male models, there were very few male models, a lot more female models.
Right.
But today we see a lot more male models as well. Reasons being that, and also locals, which is great. And also we have now local female models as well, which is also great.
Right.
But I think that now there are a lot more men who are coming out there who are more conscious of how they look and present themselves, who are looking after themselves a lot more than compared to, like, say 20 years ago, right? So there are a lot more references that are required to be able to that marketing needs, marketing material that needs to be produced on men. So yes, there are many men as well.
For the beginner models, what would be your 3 advice, like the most crucial advice that they need to do right now?
Trust yourself. Believe in yourself, number 1. Trust in yourself and believe in yourself, number 1. Number 2, go out and make a plan of what you want to do with your lives, right? So if you want to be a model, pick up the phone, call us, get a portfolio done so that you have something to showcase, right? And 3, start working towards your goal. This is the 3 most important elements to get anywhere, let alone modeling.
How would you define a successful model? Who is this man or a woman?
Somebody who's really versatile, somebody who is able to fit in with all types of people, who is not condemning or judgmental, who's not resisting and has resentment, who's able to accommodate and work with all types of requirements. We could be shooting in the ocean, we could be shooting off aircraft, and that's the person who makes a truly successful model.
Do you think models have some age when they need to quit?
No.
Or it's a lifetime journey?
It's a lifetime journey, definitely a lifetime journey. We use models who are like 65 years old sometimes for life insurance and banks where we need, and then we use babies who for when we have diapers and child food and things like that. So it's your whole life, It's something you can always do.
Nice.
It's about just believing in yourself, loving yourself, trusting yourself, and being there for yourself.
This was Nicole Rodrigues, the founder and the owner of lots of Diva branded companies. Thank you very much. I really made a discovery in you because most of the entrepreneurs and business people, they are very, very maybe shy. They are sometimes maybe scary of something. They don't want to tell their story, though they have a lot to share. But you was outstanding in terms of responsiveness and the fast pace of your replies. And thank you very much that you allowed us to meet you, to stay during this day to day with you and see how you work, how you live, and inspire our viewers, because lots of people who are watching us right now got really inspired by your story.
Thank you, Max, for having me as well. And I'd like to close this to remind everybody that we are like diamonds. We have so many different facets, and it's important to always sharpen all our facets, and for which we need to constantly evolve and constantly take on new techniques, skills, and not be stuck in old beliefs and break away from these old beliefs from parents, society. Create your own journey.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nicole. And my favorite part, the giveaway.
Yes.
Okay, so now is my favorite part, the giveaway. We will have the books. What are these books about? Tell us.
So Max, these is a Pacesetter 2 and this is the Super 100. So basically these are local entrepreneurs in the region and their inspirational stories of fellow entrepreneurs. And I hope you enjoy reading them and understanding a little more of their journeys, because every journey is different.
Right.
Everybody has a different lesson to learn or lessons to learn. And these were my lessons, but I'm sure there are many other lessons that you'd probably be able to relate to. So I hope you enjoy them.
Thank you so much.
Very much. Thank you for having me.
I will have a look at them.
Yes.
But what I suggest is making a contest to all the subscribers who are watching us right now. If you want to get these books directly from Nicole. You need to write in the comments below this video. Of course, you need to hit the like button, subscribe button, and all this stuff, you know this. Write a slogan for Nicole, rhyming with word Diva.
Sure. And you might be just lucky, you might win yourself a free portfolio with Diva.
Yeah, if it will be outstanding, maybe we will select, if we have 2 books, we will have two winners, plus one winner will get the portfolio with the company of Nicole, which costs 2,500 dirhams. So that's a very nice deal. So like, I don't see any reasons why you should not write your comments below the video. Just write the slogan rhyming with Diva, and Nicole herself will be selecting the winner.